parents are retired public school teachers. They're like younger boomers and have been teachers their whole lives. I want you to think about what life looks like for a household of 2 public school teachers with 2 kids today. Like, what does their house look like? What's their finances look like? Because this was my parents' situation. As 2 public school teachers, this is where I grew up, on a lake with a boat, like a 3-bedroom house, not like a super fancy house, but a 3-bedroom house. There are currently 2 houses for sale on this lake. One is $530,000 and the other is $1.2 million. On the lake my parents moved onto in the 90s as 2 public school teachers with 2 children. They never had side hustles, they never had summer jobs, they had summers off. They were 2 public school teachers, and this is what that afforded them. My fiance and I now make combined what my parents made when I was like in high school, like decades into their teaching careers. Our apartment, when it rains on the outside, it rains on the inside. It's like enraging and unfathomable thinking about the world that people older than us got to live in, because no one ever gets to live like this with normal jobs ever again. I don't want to work anymore. And now everyone who's not going to watch the full video can go comment about how lazy I am, how lazy my generation is, and how we just don't want to work anymore. And now for those that are still here, I will explain what we mean by that. I do want to work. If I didn't work, I think I would honestly probably get so bored that I would just want to off myself. Like, most of us want to work. It helps gives you purpose. It helps give you something to do. Hopefully you do something you're passionate about. Luckily for me, I do something I'm passionate about. So I genuinely like my job. But the problem is the purpose of a job is supposed to pay for you to be able to afford to live. And that's just not the case anymore. People in my generation who went to college, who did everything they were supposed to do, worked hard in school, went to a good college, graduated with their degree, yada yada, got their first job, and they can't afford to live. And we're working 40 to 60 hours a week, like on average, and we cannot afford to live. Like, we just do not make enough to pay rent, to pay for food. Everything is so expensive right now, and wages are not keeping up with the cost of living. So we are working full time, giving up a huge portion of our lives to work, and we can't even afford to live. That is why my generation is frustrated. That is why we don't want to work anymore, because we work really hard and we still can't afford to even get by. So like, what's the point? We can't afford to save. We can't afford to buy things we want. We can't afford to go out and do fun things. We can barely afford to pay our rent and buy food. A lot of us have like 2 or 3 jobs, or like work a full-time job and have several side hustles. That is the case for me. And then older generations just look at us and they're like, you're not working hard enough. This is your fault. Like, you're not working hard enough. That's why you can't get. The reason we can't get by is because the cost of living since the 90s has gone up 67%, while the wages have only gone up 18%. So wages have not kept up with the cost of living. That is why we can't afford to live. Not because we're lazy, not because we don't work, not because we don't want to work anymore. That is why. That is all. We're also in extreme debt because everything is so much more expensive than it used to be. College is way more expensive than it used to be. Cars are way more expensive than they used to be. Housing, way more expensive than it used to be. And on top of all that, politicians and older generations are destroying our environment, not doing anything to protect it, so we don't even know that there'll be a habitable earth when we're older to live in. So yeah, that makes us pretty pessimistic and nihilistic and not want to work.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? 2 or 3 years ago, people were getting $600 a week. Gas was $1.39. GameStop was taking people out the hood. And everybody had to stay in the house. Now gas is up to $7 a gallon. Grapes cost $8. Rent is through the roof. And minimum wage is still at a bare minimum. Yo, why does a pack of grapes cost more than an hour of working? Five Below got items over $5 now. The Dollar Tree is $1.25. Arizona. Arizona iced tea, you are our last hope. You are our last hope. We are hanging on a thread and you are holding it.
You're homeless in London.
I am.
It's raining out.
It is.
Where are you going to sleep?
On the streets unless I make £24.
What's £24 going to get you?
Gets a hostel for the night.
Hostels cost?
Hostels cost, yeah, unless you get a hostel from the council.
My gosh, and you've got crutches?
Yeah, I called Step to see me off from sleeping on the streets.
And now how long have you been homeless?
I've been homeless for 4 years.
4 years out here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Isn't there any help?
I've tried everything, charities, everything, but I'm not a drug addict, I'm not an alcoholic, and I'm not pregnant. And they're the three things that get you help. So, not being any of them, I don't fit for a charity.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you survive?
Day by day, just hoping that people will help me.
What's your future like?
I want to be a writer. I want to write fiction.
You do?
Yes, not true life. Don't want to depress people.
Well, you still have a great smile.
Thank you.
So, and what are you doing are you writing? What do you...
I write every day. I write every single day.
Well,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and being in hospital, I was in hospital for like 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
So I did a lot of writing.
Wow. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
What would they be? Right, just to have somewhere to live. Just the tiniest little place to me would be a palace. To be able to get my leg better now so that I can get a job, and basically to be looked at like a person a lot of the time.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you.